Now, the legal position changes. But Babu realizes that it's the error of the government. We have erred. Babu is our employee, but he is a part of the government. So, he takes the onus and he makes the necessary corrections. Okay? Now, taking a similar case. I'm in service. When I am about to retire, and retirement is a very, very good proposition these days. 10-20 lakhs a year, every employee earns at least. So if you raise your age by 2-3 years, you'll be richer by 60-70 lakhs. If you don't count in the other sources of money which are very prudent in the government at various levels, senior levels also. So what happened? Just before 1 year, I put up an application to my HOD, sir, my date of birth is not correct. So somebody will come with some plea, somebody will come, my horoscope, says, this is the horoscope, this has been made by Panditji in 1927. So you can't challenge it. Because your school certificate is coming in 1937. That gives a legal jingle. There arise legal issues. Then of course, those go to you. When you are the months or the second days or sessions and all, then you arbitrate on that. So we make a digest of all these. What kinds of problems can arise? Even this is data versus a very simple proposition. I can show you many cases in data birth. Then that's second part of the story. I am in government service. When I joined government, say for example by those days probably these recruitment processes were not very transparent and fair. I got appointed as a junior assistant, but I had not cleared my matriculation exemption. That's the minimum qualification prescribed for a junior assistant post, right? So obviously, as usual, my service book was made, and the date of birth on it was recorded 1356, 13/1926. Okay. After 3-4 years, I could not qualify matriculation examination. So what they did, they downgraded me to peon's post. But they put me in some other organization. Other organization made my service book and the date of birth was 1 March 56 as usual. That's based on the certificate. In early 90s, migration of people started from Kashmir to other parts of India. That particular government servant came to Jammu, and in 2004, from 90 to 2004, his service was sent to. He was also in a judicial department. His service was sent to Jammu. What he realized was that his age has been lowered down by 5 years by cutting. First 2 cases we did, those were normal. There was no cutting. Now we come to cutting part, erasing. We call that legally erasing. What had happened is, from 56, 1356, his date of birth was lowered down to 1351. 5 years. So when the service book came, he was to be retired. That's another type of case. He represented to the government. Government rejected. They said no. Again, the limitation of 3 years. CSR is. Then he went to the court. Court held. Yes. He was earlier also in the government. His date of birth was recorded as 1356. Then he was reverted and put in another department. The original entry from the record appears to be 1356. And this has been erased. That's when the eraser has taken place, because service book is always with your office, with the government. Now sometimes what happens, if I am the head of the department, I have my service book is also a part of my charge. You are my second in command, service book is of course with you, but responsibility for custody is with me. I keep the service book. What I do is, I quietly tell you sometimes, someday, Babu, get my service book, I want to see it. With your knowledge or without your knowledge, I change my date of birth. Say 1 or 2 years.
Tampering.
I temper it. That's another class. Now, the case I was discussing about the manager and employee, in which the court held that we are satisfied that the date of birth as per her matriculation or his matriculation certificate is 1356. And this has been erased by the office because the service book is the responsibility of the office. Are you getting me? Now, that too was erased, and this one case, I am telling you, where I did a mistake myself. This is also an eraser. It also went to court. Also nothing going. Your date of birth certificate is giving you this date of birth, and you have tampered it by 2 years or 3 years, whatever. No sir, no sir, no sir. In that case, court has held this. Now this comes to references to cases, citations. So in that case, which I discussed before this, in that case court has held this. Then the court says, no, you cannot claim this right. Because in your case, there are two more elements. Number one is your mana fide intention. Number second is eraser. And now, we don't only hold that your date of birth is wrong, we convict you. These are 4 cases, this I am telling you as a very simple, plain story. There are many legal cases in date of birth recording, especially because date of birth in government is a very tricky area. So that's why, as head of departments, because as municipal, I feel you have an office also, you have some staff also in the region. So you will have to grapple with these problems, legal issues. That's why we have CSR, that will be the guiding book. Then there are general rules. No person who is not a state subject can be employed in the government. That's very obvious. There are no issues in that. But there is an exception. Offices of the J&K government which are located outside J&K state, they can employ people up to the level of junior assistants who are not state subjects. Right? Then there are some special sections of Gorkha population. They can be employed in relaxation of this rule for security duties. Right? That's about the entry into government service, state subject rules. Then, when you enter the government, this I am telling you about from the CSRs. I am coming at CDR. At CDR term I am telling you. Then there is a question of age and health. When you enter service, you should have a healthy mental state as well as good health. So how do I know whether you have a good health or you have unstable mind? As head of the department, you come and put up your joining report to me. How can I do it?
Medical exam.
Yeah, you come to medical exam. So a certificate from a government practitioner is a must before you enter the service. Then there are some conditions on employment. Who can be an employee? What can be done to him if he has returned from a leave? Those are all conditions. That's a very exhaustive subject. You have read term L-I-E-N, that's lien. What's lien? Can somebody tell me? You have read my guide. What's your name? Ajay, you can sit, but do you know what's lien?
Right to retain.
Yeah, right to retain what?
Permanent.
A permanent position in the government. Fine? Now, what does this lien help a government servant as? What's the relevance of lien? How is lien relevant to your subject? Here comes a term. That's an officiating employee or a temporary employee and a permanent employee. Because CSR gives different treatment to permanent employees. An employee will be permanent only if he holds a lien on any post. Then you know you cannot terminate the lien of an officer. That means legally that you cannot disturb his permanent status unless you put him on another post and create a lien for him. So how is that helpful? That helps in regulating that you don't give out of turn promotions. Because permanent posts, those are budgeted posts. There's a condition when you make budgets at the end of the year, you qualify. We have 5 number of permanent posts and we have 5 incumbents. Or we have 4 incumbents, 1 post is vacant. Okay? That gives you a right to a permanent post in the government, and whatever are the objects or whatever are the benefits that accrue to a permanent employee, that those you can enjoy. Government cannot terminate your service, like in the case of temporary employees. That's the major difference why we have lien. Charge of office, this is very simple. When you hold an office and when you are transferred or retire or you demit office, you'll have to hand over charge to your next incumbent. Fine? If you hand over charge, then your structure of allowances. For example, if you are posted in Jammu, some of the allowances in Jammu city are higher than Kathua. Now you are being transferred from here to Kathua. You hand over charge in Jammu. The day you hand over charge in Jammu, your structure of allowances will change. So, what's the point where we can recognize from which point your allowances will change? That's from the time you hand over charge in the office. There are some small complexities in this also, but broadly you have to remember that when the day you hand over charge, then this gets linked or hooked to your joining time also. If you are within the same street, that your residence is not changed, for joining time, the reckoning factor or the core factor is whether your residence is changed. If your residence is not changed, residence change means you are living within 10 kilometers of the area. Residence change means if you shift from this place to Gandhinagar, if the distance is less than 10 kilometers, this will not be constituted as a change. Now, your question should be then, what difference will that make? If I am at the 11th kilometer. Okay? At 11th kilometer, you will be entitled to 6 days preparation days. See the difference? 10 kilometers and 11, difference of 1 kilometer. You will get 6 days for preparation. Then all other things will follow. So this makes rules very important and a guiding factor for the departmental heads. Charge of office is, if you hand over charge in the afternoon, you will join in the next morning. If you hand over charge in the forenoon is before 1 o'clock, then you will have to join next office same day. Okay? Now, you are on leave. So I must be able to tell you what are the kinds of leave we have in the government. So we'll come to that later. Please remind me when we touch leave chapter. I should be able to tell you how many kinds of leave there are. Now you are on a leave for 1 month. In between, I promote you. Do you, by the way, know how promotions in the government happen? Somebody has some idea. We have departmental promotion committees. Why do we have departmental promotion committees? That's to obviate, otherwise head of department will issue orders to everybody. You go, you are chief engineer, you go, you are head of department. So in order to obviate that, we have a club of 4-5 officers run from different sister organizations. Say for example, if you are in education, you have 2-3 zonal education officers as members of the department promotion committee. I think you need to be more attentive. So what happens is, yeah, please. Actually, I have a problem. I lose track because in something amiss. So, what I was talking? Department promotion committees are a mechanism to do away with favoritism, so that I don't favor my own people. So we draw 3-4 senior officers. They comprise the departmental promotion committee. They clear. They see your performance reports. They see you are in the line. Merit comes suitability. There should be merit also and it should be suitable also. If you have merit and you are fighting with your boss, then probably you will not get promoted to the next cadre. That's what's called merit and suitability. Now, if you are handicapped for certain reasons that you cannot work on risk attached positions. For example, if you have to promote a class 4 to lineman, you have to see his physical ability also, that you should be able to say perform the duties of a lineman. That's called suitability and fitness. Bodily, mental, and more importantly, to your character. You should be able to satisfy your seniors that you are a well-behaved officer. Fine? Then in government, you get advance sometimes for something, advance for your journey, or advance for buying some things. It is a mechanism. Then how to calculate the advance and how to recover this. There are sometimes pay advances. There are many advances, festival advance, this advance, that. In government, you are very rich. I wish all of you go as judicial officer. I will be very happy. Government is it's a mine of money. Really, really. Even if you don't perform. After you qualify as you don't need to, it's not necessary that you should know all these rules. You can do without this also, because there are many judicial officers who don't know the rules. Excuse me for saying this. But that's off the cuff. That's not related to this discussion. That's part of lightweight humor. Because in a class like this, you get regimented, you start sleeping. Nap sometimes. When I used to be in class, I used to nap, especially if you had lunch. After lunch, I would naturally have a nap for 5-10 minutes. So keep the class lively. So what's your name?
Yastik Kazi, sir.
Yeah, I'm asking this man.
Dheeraj Sharma.
Mr. Dheeraj, what I was saying? Can you recollect first?
We were talking about nap.
Yeah, boy. He got it right. So, another part of advances. When you give an advance to the government servant, for whatever reasons, then there is a regulation for that. How will you recover this advance? Some advance can be recovered in 3 installments, some in 10, for example, festival. And if you take a pay advance, that has to be recovered in 3 installments. Then, if there's a deficiency on your part, then what will happen? Government will charge you interest also. Now we can take a very simple example. You are going to travel to Delhi. I'll give an advance of 20,000 rupees. For a traveling advance, you have to give the vouchers or bills within 1 month. Now you go and sleep, you don't give me bills. I cannot hanker after you. What I do is, when a month has elapsed, next month I'll deduct 6% of 20,000 from your pay. Suddenly you get angry. So what's this? This is not fair. So I tell you, you should have been a very disciplined officer. You should have got the bills right within 1 month. Then, what's that? That's law and its practice. Now, this girl is very hard working and I'm very happy with her work. I may waive interest in it and I may issue her a warning after 2 months that you have failed to prefer your bills. Because there are some people in every organization, what you call key men, key persons, whom you can't tax all the time. You can't really apply rules on them. They are very dear to HODs. So in that case, that's called law and practice. Then HOD will issue a letter to you. You are expected to submit your bills or submit your estimates or details. Within such and such period you have failed. Now, if you don't do it this by this date, we'll be charging interest. That's the difference between application of law, practice of law. In some cases, this can be done. And that's the fine part with the regulation. Everything is at the discretion of the HOD. What is I'm only telling you important points which probably I feel can be asked in the examination. There are lots of chapters which are redundant and which we don't need any elaboration at this point of time. Then there's an element of when you allot a government residence to an officer for residing for residential purposes, you charge him monthly rent. And if you give him a furniture, you charge monthly rent on that also. Now if my spouse is living in a government provided accommodation, I cannot claim house rent allowance. So we come to what we come to? We come to the hook of house rent allowance and rent of government accommodations. Sorry. If you are living in a government accommodation, you are expected to pay a monthly charge. That's rent, then rent of furniture. If you are having a gardener, then you will have to pay for gardener also. Because government doesn't give, generally, they don't give anything free. So you have to pay. Now we come to, there's an allowance for the government employee, that's house rent allowance. What's your good name? So
Mayank.
Mayank. You are listening, Mayank. Are you
Yes, sir.
understanding? Do you have any difficulty in, do we have?
No, sir. Please continue.
It's okay.
Yes, sir.
Then we come to house rent allowances. This is part of the allowance story which I am telling you. Now, who will get a house rent allowance? I am paying a rent. I am living in an entity accommodation. So what government does? They give in fixed allowance at the rate of 6% per month. that you are paying rent in. This is yours. Now this man has a house,
So 6% of what?
basic pay per month. Now this man is living in one house. The rule says you have to give him a house too. You agitated. I am paying rent and I am dying. And you are giving this man. I told you, law and practice. Then comes the precedent, third part of it. So what the government replies is, you have not constructed your house. This man has constructed his house. He has spent money on that. So we are compensating you for that spending. That's called return on investment in commercial terms, what we call it, return on his investment. So now it's really you'll find baffling. Somebody who is staying on rent, he is being paid rent. He is staying in his own house. Now I stay in my wife's house. I also get this. Because my wife has constructed a house and the same ROI concept. What I precisely mean to convey is, government rules are very complicated. It's not very simple issue. These are so complicated that even if you read from the book, you can't make a conclusion. So what happens, the departments are not able to comprehend what the law says. So naturally, we go to you people and we seek interpretation of rules. We come with different pleas because government rules are very, what you call, penetrating. These are not meant for all. Across board, everybody cannot have this. Right? So what happens that sometimes you get disturbed with the rulings and then you go to courts. That's why we have service matter cases are also very considerable in number. You know, Kanau, it must be a large chunk. Every government employee, if you transfer him, he'll go to court. Sir, stay this one. This is not a file. I'm not giving increment. No, sir, this is the. So courts also get burdened with these unnecessary things. That's because you have a book, but you don't have the knowledge of it. How to read it, how to interpret the rules. Then most of the problems can be solved. But in some cases, there are genuine reservations also. Sometimes the employee goes to court out of nothing, and in many cases the courts have struck down. Although courts hold a very positive view that an employee, if he's if he's having trouble with the law, the court will side him. It will be on his side. The judge will try to see that he's comfortable. That's one part. But then you see, there are very good lawyers, there are very good public prosecutors who pursue the cases and they win case for the government. Winning a case for the government is not very easy these days. These are very small matters, service matters and all, but in very big contracts. You have arbitration act in your books, the syllabus? No. Then there's an element of arbitration also. Sometimes the court will not appreciate whatever you are saying. What they will issue direction to the government. Okay, we are not hearing this petition. You take this and treat this as its request, representation, and decide on this. Yeah, have you heard a case where the courts have held this? Ma'am, what's your good name?
Tanya.
Have you heard a case where the court has not heard a petition and sent it back to the government for taking a proper decision? Have you? Have you read? There are many cases where the court has refused to accept my analogy, and instead of quashing them, you know, अच्छा, instead of question, they sent it to government. Please take a decision on this. Sometimes they would suggest the lines. What should you do? And if you happen to be a judicial officer's relative, then he will issue an express directions. Do this, and then you have benefits. That's the second part. Third part is, if you cannot help me directly, what do? You write a judgment. Language of the judgment is so complex that then you have to refer it to the High Court. So this judgment is not implementable because of these factors. Mr. Kano can tell you on that because he is a legal expert. Then judge says, okay, now we interpret. And when you enter judiciary, then there are checks and balances too. It's not that judge can write everything, what he likes. But judges do it. You also learn the art of writing judgments. There's a class for writing judgments. There are books for how to write a judgment. Some judges write very lousy language. This chief just Gogoi, he writes, he's considered to be very bombastic writer. But then at his status and at his age, we can expect that because the cases in Supreme Court are very complex. And when the judicial officers grow at a very respectable level, then they add some things to their personality, which are normally not explained. Anyways, not going into that. That was about the allowance part, how allowances get complicated. Then there's an allowance. I tell you, you go and apart from what work I have allotted to you, you look after Mr. Kano Gupta's work also. Oh, sorry sir, that's not work. So I said, okay, don't worry, I'll give you a little allowance for this. So I give you an officiating allowance. I tell you, ma'am, please come. See his charge also, you get an officiating allowance. So that's the introduction of officiating allowance. What's a good name, ma'am? Sparshika, if you don't write, if you can, at the end of the day, if you can tell me what you want, I'll put it on your mails. But if you are happy with writing, I don't mind. Officiating allowance.